Have you ever seen a photo so powerful it feels silent? A lone surfer, perfectly carving inside a monster wave, gliding like it's second nature, fearless and locked in. The light hits, the water curves, the moment freezes. That surfer is Malik Joyeux, a legend from Tahiti known for his wild courage and magnetic presence on the water. And what if I told you that same wave chaser, that same calm in the storm figure, would lose his life chasing the very thing that made him legendary? This isn't just a surf story. It's a haunting reminder that beauty can kill, that greatness comes at a price, and that sometimes the ocean doesn't give you back. So here's the question. How does someone so fearless vanish without a sound while doing what they love most? And why does his story continue to stir emotions nearly 20 years later? Stay with me till the end, because behind that iconic image is a story that will stay with you long after the last wave fades. It's about life, death, and the fine line that separates the two. Up next, we rewind to the island where it all began, where the ocean raised a boy into a myth. Malik Joyeux was born in 1980 on the island of Moorea, Tahiti's wild little sister. If you've never seen Moorea, imagine mountains wrapped in clouds, beaches that look like postcards, and to understand Malik, you have to understand this place. Towering peaks, crystal water, waves that break like thunder. Moorea doesn't raise ordinary kids. It builds watermen. His family lived simply, close to nature. Malik's playground wasn't a backyard. It was a reef pass. He surfed his first wave at 8 years old. Not on fancy boards, but whatever floated. By 12, he was paddling into waves that sent grown men to shore. Locals started whispering. There was something different about this kid. Not just raw skill, but control, calm, that almost psychic awareness of the ocean's rhythm. By his teens, he was already being called a prodigy, but he didn't care about fame. He didn't brag. He didn't boast. He just rode, and the island watched. And then he left the island and took his fire to the heaviest waves on earth. Malik Joyeux didn't just surf. He attacked waves with the elegance of a dancer. By the early 2000s, Malik was no longer just that kid from Moorea. Malik was showing up at the planet's most dangerous breaks. Teahupo'o, Jaws, and Mavericks, places that chew up and spit out the best of the best. But Malik? He made it look effortless. In 2003, he caught a wave at Teahupo'o that would go down in history. That wave is a monster. A glass bomb exploding over shallow reef. Malik dropped in deep, so deep the ocean almost swallowed him whole. But he made it, and the photo? Legendary. It was one of the heaviest barrels ever photographed, and Malik was perfectly slotted, disappearing into a tunnel of water so thick it looked like liquid concrete. It won him Billabong's XL Tube of the Year award. It became one of the most famous surf shots of all time. Then came the cover of Surfer Magazine's 2004 Big Issue. Malik stood tall, holding his board, soaked and smiling, as if he'd just come back from war and won. The caption read like a tribute, Malik Joyeux, a new breed of charger. He had arrived, not just as a surfer, but as a symbol of what it meant to chase your limits and dance with danger. And yet for all the hype, Malik stayed grounded. He lived out of a van in Hawaii during winter surf seasons, ate fish with his friends, and when people asked him what made him so fearless, he just shrugged. I trust the wave, he'd say, but even the most trusted wave can turn on you. Coming up, the moment Malik disappeared on a wave that looked perfect. If this story has moved you so far, hit subscribe. We share real stories like Malik's, of beauty, risk, and the people who live on the edge of both. December 2nd, 2005. The north shore of Oahu was alive, pulsing with raw energy. Pipeline was firing, fast, hollow, lethal. It's the kind of day surfers dream of, and sometimes don't come back from. Malik was there, smiling, joking, waiting. He had surfed Pipeline before. He knew its moods, its beauty, its violence. That morning, everything felt right. The waves were perfect. Then came the wave. Not the biggest, not the gnarliest, but it looked right. Malik paddled into the wave. As he dropped in, something went wrong. His board hit a bump and nosedived. He fell forward, swallowed whole by the wave. And just like that, he vanished. At first, no one panicked. Wipeouts happen all the time at Pipeline. You dive deep, you get tossed, and eventually you pop up. But Malik didn't come up. Minutes passed, panic set in. Surfers began combing the lineup. Lifeguards launched into action, helicopters hovered overhead. The ocean, Malik's oldest friend, wasn't giving him back. His board washed up, snapped in half. His leash had torn free. His body was eventually found underwater, pinned beneath the reef. He was just 25 years old. The surf world was stunned. News spread like a shockwave. Malik Joyeux was gone. The same guy who tamed Teahupo'o and smiled through wipeouts had been taken by a wave that didn't even look that dangerous. And that's what made it even more haunting. Pipeline isn't just famous, it's feared. Located on Oahu's north shore, this wave has taken more lives than any other surf break on the planet. It looks beautiful from the beach. Turquoise water, perfect barrels, postcard-worthy sunsets. But beneath the surface, a jagged coral reef lies just a few feet below. Most waves break over sand. Pipeline breaks over razor-sharp reef. That means if you fall, there's no cushion, just impact. And here's what makes it worse. Pipeline is fast. It barrels violently. And it shifts without warning. What looks like a perfect wave can close out in seconds, slamming surfers straight into the reef. Malik knew this. He respected Pipeline. But on December 2nd, 2005, the wave still won. It's not about fear. It's about reality. Pipeline doesn't care who you are, pros, locals, legends. It humbles everyone eventually. And that's why those who ride it earn respect just by paddling out. Malik earned his spot, and tragically, he paid the price. But Malik's story doesn't end here. Stick around, because the way people remember him, the way he changed surfing forever, will give you chills. When the news of Malik Joyeux's death broke, it hit like a thunderclap. For days, surfers, fans, and friends around the world stood in silent disbelief. Social media was flooded with tributes. Surf shops lowered their flags. Paddle-outs were held from Tahiti to California, where surfers formed circles in the water, hands joined, boards bobbing, hearts broken. Malik had become more than a charger. He became a symbol for risk, for purity, for joy. In Tahiti, he's remembered as the smiling local who made it big but never left his roots. In Hawaii, he's honored as one of Pipeline's warriors. In the global surf scene, he's spoken of in the same breath as Andy Irons and Eddie Aikau, icons who lived for the ocean and left it too soon. Photos of Malik, especially that iconic shot of him deep in a Teahupo'o barrel, still circulate online. Not as mere trophies, but as testaments to his courage. His name comes up in documentaries, surf festivals, and whispered moments of awe between younger surfers trying to ride like him. And maybe that's the most powerful part of Malik Joyeux's story. He's remembered not just for how he surfed, but how he lived, fully, wildly, kindly. He didn't chase glory. He chased that feeling only a surfer knows, the drop, the pull, the silence inside the wave. Now, every time a surfer paddles out on a big day, they carry a piece of Malik with them. They remember that photo, they remember the price. They remember the joyeux, that word in French that means joyful, because that's what he was. There's a photo of Malik deep in a wave, smiling, eyes forward, alive. It's more than an image. It's a warning, a tribute, a question. What are you willing to risk to feel alive? Because Malik Joyeux risked everything, and for one perfect moment, he had it all. He didn't live forever, but he lived better than most ever will. So next time you see that photo of the surfer tucked deep inside the wave, remember, there's always more to the picture. Sometimes behind the most beautiful moments is a story that can break your heart. If this story stayed with you, like, share and subscribe to honor his legacy and tell someone about Malik. Because waves fade, but legends echo forever. Leave a comment to keep his story alive.